So growing up in Barbados, it's 30 degrees all year round. So I had a very outdoorsy lifestyle. Play football, cricket, swimming in the sea, surfing, bit of everything really. So yeah, very active as a youngster. And then with triathlon, I think I was in primary school at the time, and because I played kind of every sport for the school, the Triathlon Association in Barbados invited kids to come up to the local pool and do a race. And I actually did it originally with one of my best friends. I did the swim and the run, and he did the bike. And yeah, after that I was hooked, and they used to have monthly Tri Kids races, and so yeah, the next one I was like, I want to have a full go by myself. So I did my full first triathlon at, I guess I would have been 8-9 years old, and it was part of the repertoire of sports, until I was probably 16 when I finally decided, yeah, I'm gonna solely focus on triathlon. Yeah, it's been amazing. Me and Luke, who's the head coach, we were at university together, and so we were training partners. And then Luke turned coach. I left university, and yeah, gave him a call, and he was like, it looked like things were going really well in Cardiff. So I was like, do you have a space for a Barbadian foreigner boy to come and join the squad? And he was like, yeah, come try it out. So I came the end of 2018, and it was still in its infancy. There was a few guys, racing internationally, but it was a bit kind of sporadic. Well, now, just in the 5.5 years, it's grown from strength to strength. We have major games medals, world championship medals, and yeah, really good crop of young athletes come in. I'm now the senior athlete. I'm the old boy of the squad. But it's been amazing to see how much has changed in the last 5 years. And yeah, I absolutely love it here, and it's a really great place to train. So I actually originally came to Cardiff with Olympic aspirations. I was trying to qualify for the Tokyo Games in 2020. So I kind of came to Cardiff halfway through the qualification period. Me and Luke sat down, we were like, okay, we'll try give this a good go. We definitely came up short. I think we learned a lot back then in terms of what did it take, what needs to be done, and yeah, how best to go about it. And it was a heartbreaking experience. It was a tough time to look yourself in the mirror and be like, you're not there yet. But I think me and Luke did a really good job of kind of recuperating, and obviously COVID happened as well, which gave us a more thinking space. But I think that first attempt gave us a good kind of understanding of what was needed for our second attempt, which is obviously into Paris, and we managed to get there to qualify quite comfortably. And hats off to all of us that really learned from our mistakes, kind of took it on the chin and bettered ourselves going in. With triathlon, it's quite a complicated system. It's a 2-year process. You can have 12 races to count in a point system over 2 years. So it's obviously a lot of racing, a lot of international travel, etc. I think in my first go, we went ham. We're like, let's do every race possible, and we'll fall on 12 good ones. And I think the next time around, we're like, well, it's a lot of travel, it's a lot of hard graft on the body. So we kind of pick and chose specific races, and we targeted those, showed up really fit, really healthy, and was able to race really well at those. So we did a little bit less racing, got our 12 scores on the board, and it got us a pretty good qualification place before this season started, but we had to finish it off in the beginning of 2024, and we thankfully did that, and now it's all focus on the summer. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's kind of a tough one, because I think because we were in the middle of it, we were just like, okay, next race, let's just get it done, get back training, just kind of focus. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's done, it's happened. It's like, oh, well, we planned to do that and it happened. So it's like, great. And at first it was a bit kind of, okay, this has happened. But I think in the last few weeks now, we're actually planning logistics and, getting my race suit and doing all that stuff for the actual games. The excitement is definitely starting to get real now. And if I tell 18-year-old me that, you're now going to the Olympics, and you'd just be like, wow, this is amazing. And I think when I speak to other people, I really realize how massive it is. While in our own little bubble, our own little world, we're just like, okay, focus on performing at the Olympics, but it is the epitome of what we do. It's the pinnacle of our sport, and we've done this, and it's kind of a pinch me moment, but at the same time, I'm just trying to not get too overwhelmed with the occasion and just focus on what we can do day in, day out. But when we get there, it'll be very special, of course.
He moved over back into 2018 into 2019. He was sort of halfway through trying to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics at that point, and it's fair to say he arrived a little bit injured on the back foot in terms of that qualification process. And I think that first couple of years was quite tough for both of us. I don't think we had our best process, should we say. Like, I definitely got a bit carried away with, oh cool, like let's coach my mate to go to the Olympics, like that'll be amazing, and didn't really do the good process that works for athletes, and take a bit of a stock check and go, this is where this is where you're at and this is where you need to be. And so we sort of like rushed into that 2019 window and got a bit carried away, and COVID, injuries, and it turned into an unsuccessful bid for the Olympics, and certainly neither of us felt like that we were getting the best out of each other. And so we had a big reset in 2020 once it kind of became clear that Tokyo, regardless of COVID, Tokyo wasn't going to be achievable, and we put a much better plan in place, really clear on where he was, where he needed to be, what race we needed to target, and things sort of started to click around the back end of 2022 and then into 2023. So last year we had just a really great year. I think really clear plan of where we needed to execute, and he went out and did the business in the races that he needed to, especially in the Pan Am Championships, in fourth place in the standard distance and a win in the sprint distance. That was what really kind of set up the whole qualification. There's so many different ways that he's improved. I think the biggest one is just perspective. Being able to go through the highs and lows and keep things in balance, in perspective. He was definitely, that first time around, everything was a rush, quite impatient. Being able to kind of be realistic about where you're at. I definitely think he's got a family in Cardiff now. That's just given him such a brilliant balance to life, and that helps kind of keep the sport part in perspective. That's been a huge, and that's then enabled us to do all the good stuff that we needed to do from a training perspective. So we got much better handle on who he was as an athlete, what things would work for him. So setting up that individual program, definitely pushing up the bike volume, and he's not an athlete that can run a huge run volume without getting injured, so just being able to navigate around that and set up a really good plan, doing everything at the right intensity. So we've done quite a lot of work with the physiology hub here at Cardiff Met, and getting all the right training zones and stuff, and being able to do things in there to maximise the physiology. And so you put those things together, then much more consistency, much more stability of performance level, which means he's had so much more confidence going into races. And then if you're confident going into races and you're stable in your performance, then you perform well, and then that whole thing goes into a really kind of positive cycle where you then get more confidence and more stability. And we just got onto, certainly the last 18 months, into a bit of a role where that cycle kind of kept spinning, as it were, and the performance has improved, and we've kind of ended up here in the position where he's qualified for the games, and the first athlete from our program to be going to Paris, and I'll be swapping my Welsh kit for the yellow and blue of Barbados in July. Yeah, so there was a small training group here about 10 years ago, which was led by a lecturer here, Andy Lane, and then the partnership was formalised in 2017 to create the National Triathlon Performance Centre here. Since then, it's grown from a group of 7 or 8 athletes to 30 now across 2 squads, and we've got brilliant sports science support. We've got the facilities, the squad structure, the coaching to develop athletes across a range of performance levels, and we've seen a lot of success with that. So we had 31 international medals, including Commonwealth Games medal, and 22 box medals for Cardiff Met. So a huge range of successes both internationally and domestically.
For us, the partnership serves a number of benefits. So thinking its most simplistic form, it allows us to provide a high quality performance training environment for our student athletes. And what that environment offers is it's not just students, so being able to have those other top level athletes within the university, within the environment, provides the best opportunity for our students to develop. And also, once they've been a student, as they move into becoming an alumni, they can maintain their position within the centre. Slightly more broadly, it gives us some opportunities to link the university's research objectives and tie that into the provision in an applied setting with the practitioners and coaches within the environment. And additionally, student opportunities in terms of placements, internships and so on really adds to that student experience through the partnership. From a strategic point of view, Cardiff Met is committed to becoming Wales' sporting university, And I think this partnership's a real good example of what it allows us to do is kind of move beyond university sport and actually have a role and have a place both within university sport, as I said, but also nationally and then internationally.
I really think the partnership's mutually beneficial. Helps both of us to achieve our objectives. So, from our point of view, obviously the university has fantastic facilities. It gives a really stable training environment throughout the whole year. Gives everyone a base. I think it helps the athletes to pursue dual career opportunities around studying and their sort of personal development. The academic expertise has been really valuable for us, especially in the sports science field. So we've done a lot of work with the physiology team and the development of the new sport physiology hub, and that's had a hugely positive impact on our athletes' training competition performance. So the testing's enabled everyone to be super clear on their individual profiles and to maximise that training intensity control, and especially for someone like Matt, who's had quite a few injuries in his history, that's had a huge impact for us on just maximising each day for him to get exactly what he needs out of his performance. We couldn't have done that without the guys here and that sports science expertise. And then I guess the other side of it with the massive degree programs in the sports science, the different disciplines here, we've had a huge range of interns from different disciplines, and that's enabled us to expand our sports science provision, but it's also given those students incredible applied experience in a performance sport environment, and I certainly think it's helped with their employability.
I think first of all, congratulations to Matthew for being selected, and to all the staff and practitioners involved, a real credit to the centre. So I think in terms of what it means, it's probably exactly that. I think it's a real marker for the centre in terms of the journey we've been on collectively over the last couple of years, building the centre bit by bit. Obviously real positive news to have our first athlete go onto world-class programmes, and now to have an Olympic selection is a great achievement. So I think it, for me, just shows the exciting trajectory that the centre's on and the partnership, and looking forward to continue that to various major championships and Olympics.
I think we just really want to continue to develop our collaborative triathlon offer, so working towards that really world-class training environment for elite athletes, a really high quality development pathway for students to work through, continuing to build on the work with the junior programs and the club programs, and develop that kind of seamless pathway through from the junior pathway to elite performance. We also want to build on our research and collaboration together. We've done a number of projects in a number of different disciplines, and so that link between the academic and applied sporting performance, I think we can really continue to develop in that area. Cardiff Met has a new performance sport framework which we're really proud to be part of, and we're looking forward to helping to develop that going forward. The TAS programme is relatively new here, only in the last year, so there's really exciting opportunities to continue to expand that offering and develop that next generation of athletes towards the world-class programme.
Going forward in the partnership, I think it's a really exciting time coming back off the summer. We're currently discussing with Welsh Triathlon sort of the next phase of the partnership. And I think the focus is really about where can we both add value to the things that we're already doing. A really good example of that over the last year has been the introduction of TAS and Cardiff Met becoming a delivery site. So we didn't just duplicate services, but we were able to look at where the gaps in the provision were and where we could add the different aspects to help us provide a better environment for all the different athletes in the programme. The further element is probably looking at where we can build, working with some of our other sports where they might have greater strengths in other areas of the pathway. So we've had some discussions of kind of beyond just the performance environment, how we build a wider triathlon offer for the students at Cardiff Met, possibly partnering with some of our aquatics provision and athletics provision to bring things together and to create better opportunities all round.
We are just in the process of renewing our agreement with Cardiff Met, so watch this space for more news on that front.